this?
Yes,
he was all super snivelly, but eventually we just started, like, we still didn't have the Japanese to reference. Now, I'm gonna guess that maybe Kyle may have had access, because he was, like, Kyle is like one of these dudes who is deep into kind of, you were deep already into anime culture at that point, right? Like,
yeah, fairly. I mean, I didn't know I wasn't like eating and drinking it every day or anything, but I knew that I wanted to base it on Kid Gohan's rasp. So my teenage voice had to and it just worked out that way, I guess. I mean, I auditioned for it back in August of 2000, but I didn't start recording as that character for a couple months. I hadn't done any dubbing before, so I guess when you're new to the business, they want to just see if you can do the match flaps, take direction, all that stuff. And so the very first thing I did was, like on the Bardock special, some bit parts and then stuff at the end of the Cell Saga, just one-off pieces, and then they said, all right, we like your Gohan, so you're Gohan.
So you started with Stephanie Nadolny's Gohan voice and went from there?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was actually told, like, the first week or two, Barry said, you know, that sounds just like Terry Clausen, but I hate that voice. And I was like, crap, he's gonna fire me. And I was like, oh, dude, I can do other voices. And he goes, yeah, I know, because you audition, do a lot of voices. But can you give me something different? And I went, well, what do you want? And he goes, well, Krillin's a midget. He's also the world's strongest human being. And I went, well, let me see if your anti-politically correct self can get this. How about like Popeye on helium? And he goes, well, what that sound like? I went, I don't know, something like this. Come on, guys, let's go. And he went, yeah, use that. Krillin was born then. That's how I found the voice.
so basically, a lot of people just, we based kind of what these characters sound like primarily on what they looked like and what the actors who auditioned brought to the table when they auditioned for it. Sometimes you want to have an idea, but when you're casting for a cartoon or something like that, you can sometimes like tell people exactly what you have in mind, but I think you're doing the show a disservice, or whatever you're working on, a disservice if you tell the actor too much information. If you say, we want it to sound like Popeye on helium, then you're just going to get a bunch of people imitating Popeye, and then you lost out on the potential of other,
yeah, it has to come.
Randomness.
It has to come from the actor. I mean, otherwise the actor's not doing his job either. I mean,
right.
If you're not giving, that's why when people say, "What's your favorite character?" It's really hard to answer because you've given of yourself to all these characters. It's like, what's your favorite child? You know?
I remember there was a guy.
My favorite child's Sabat. So.
A guy who did not audition for this role but got the role was Josh Martin for Fat Boo, like the Pink Boo, and I cast him based on, I saw him in a comedy troupe. Evidently, I mean, he was with Section 8 with Mike McFarland and Chris Rager, who ultimately went on to play Hercule. But he was doing this impression of the Pillsbury Doughboy, and I was like, that's the voice we need for Majin Buu. Like, that's exactly what we need. So I asked him to do that, and he came in and did that.
Yeah, a lot of people like say, talk about your funny voices, because I'm known for funny voices, but I don't think they're funny voices. I think they're voices that fit those weird-looking characters. I mean, like Usopp with that long nose, and I actually got through playing Andre on Prison School. And you guys seen Prison School? Yeah. And some dude online was like saying, "Why did you use the voice of Gollum for that?" And I was like, "I didn't use the voice of Gollum." And I actually wrote to him on YouTube and I said, actually, Andre has a head that's twice the size of a normal human being and a face that's half the size.
So you have that kind of compression on your esophagus that's going to push out a sound like this. So that's where I got his voice. To me, that's not a funny voice, it's his natural speaking voice.
Science.
Science.
Yeah.
What was the funniest moment casting someone?
Funniest moment casting someone?
Was there any funny moments when you were casting like anyone?
Oh, actually, most of those funny moments happened in the original auditions that we had for Dragon Ball, this giant cattle call audition where we found Sonny, where we found Sean, where we found most of the main people, at least that were in the end of the Frieza saga, most of them came from this audition set. There were some really funny ones. There was a guy who came in after the auditions were over. Like it was end of the day, we were already packing up, and someone came and said, hey, there's another guy out there, but I'm gonna tell him to go away because you guys are done. And I look out and I see the guy and I go, hold on. Let him pass. So he comes in, his eyes are like this. And he picks up the script and I said, so who are you gonna read today? He goes, I'm gonna read Chaozu. I go, okay, let's hear this. He goes, hey, hey Jen, what are you doing? I go, and he starts laughing to himself. It becomes very apparent that this guy has, he prepared himself heavily for this audition by smoking or something in the parking lot. And I go, yeah, that's interesting, let's hear something different. He goes, hello, Tien, hello. I'm like, what are you doing? When this was a Japanese show, we want this to be an English show, we don't need you to do a fake Japanese impression. He just laughed and laughed and laughed.